And we are live. Welcome
Mhm.
back, everybody, to A Taste of LTC, day number 3. I've got my homeboy, Mark Anthony Lord, back with me again after, I'm sure it was a rip-roaring church service yesterday.
It was a rip-roaring church service, and I'm sure you had a rip-roaring time yesterday talking about forgiveness.
We certainly did. If I'm going to borrow a LTC aphorism, I might even say it was a humdinger.
Oh, all right.
Only those in LTC know this inside joke.
And the depth of the word.
Extreme depth. Extreme depth.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark, today we are doing lesson 135. Let me just double check. 135, if I defend myself, I am attacked.
Yeah.
This is another key concept that ACIM teaches about how defensiveness actually creates it creates and it strengthens a sense of a lacking separate self within us. And so the course talks a lot about in my defenselessness, my safety lies. Yeah. One of the huge topics of ACIM that for me has been revolutionary in my life, to see defensiveness as weakness rather than strength, as the ego sees it. So we're going to dive into this topic today, and there's a whole lot of gems in this lesson, which is a bit of a longer lesson than usual, but all the way through, man, the text is so good and so powerful. So we're going to read through it all, and we'll just do kind of a quick little centering to get ourselves started today.
Okay, sounds perfect.
So before I share my screen, anything you wanted to say, Mark, before we jump in?
Oh, yeah, actually, thank you. I do. Thanks for the prompt, Aaron. Yeah, I was just thinking, I want to share just a moment of my love and my heart for LTC, which Aaron and I co-founded 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I'm a little lost in time on that one.
Something like that.
One of the most powerful things about this community, there is a depth to this community and a commitment to not just the studying of the course, but the name, living the course. In fact, I'm thinking of one of our students. Her name is Mary Jo, and she's been with us, I think, for the last 3 to 4 years. And she has been studying the course for 20 years prior to joining LTC. And she just sings the praises of how LTC has helped her go so much deeper and get the understanding at such a more profound level. And that's not just Mary Jo. There's a number of students that have joined us.
A lot of people, yeah.
Walking the path. And when they found LTC, they really just like, whoa, I'm getting it. And that's so cool. And I'm not puffing Aaron and me up when I say that. We are always humble at like how blessed we are to be able to do this together and for so many people. But there's just something amazing about this vibration called living the course that is really causing such profound breakthroughs and understanding of this phenomenal book.
Well said, Mark. And I think it has a lot to do with the container that gets created when you have a program like this, where the people that are signing up for LTC, these are people that are 100% all in for A Course in Miracles next year, And so there's a bit of a hype train everybody gets on, and we're excited to start the year together. And there's an energy that we build, and then, man, we just sprint downhill all year long in a ACIM. Yeah. And what I love about it so much is like, we get this reflection often that people have been studying ACIM, or they tried to study ACIM for a long time. And one of the reasons that we started LTC, Mark, back in 2020, was not just because we wanted to help people unpack the language system and really get the core concepts deeper, but also because we just felt like the ACIM kind of world had become so dry and kind of boring and just like study group style.
Yeah.
And we just felt like that doesn't do the best justice to the text, because, yeah, you can sit around and kind of blandly read it. But the way we like to teach it, and hopefully we're giving you a taste of that here, is to really bring it to life, to make the words on the page come to life with analogies and fun examples from real life, and just a lot of like, here's how this really applies practically to your life. What does it mean to be defenseless when someone's falsely accusing you or something like that? We like to get into the nitty gritty of how does ACIM actually show up in our day-to-day life. So that's what we're going to do today with lesson 135.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get one question real fast, and then I'm going to pass to you. Say someone, I don't even know what ACIM is. She's like, no clue what A Course in Miracles is. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Very simply and quickly, Course in Miracles is a channeled book from Jesus through a woman named Helen Schucman in the late 60s, early 70s. And it is a path that teaches you truly, truly how to live in oneness. It is a textbook, a daily lessons, and a teacher's manual book that is absolutely inspired. And I think one of the highest vibing books on the planet. So that's enough info for it for now, because we could go on and on, but that's exactly what it is.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So let's go ahead and jump in, and Mark and I will kind of take turns reading a couple paragraphs at a time and make sure this looks legible on the screen for you guys. Let's see if I can zoom in one more. Is that better?
Yeah, it looks great. Thanks for doing this. I think that's awesome.
My pleasure, sir. All right, why don't you kick us off, Mark?
Sure. So this is lesson 135 in the daily lessons. And it is, if I defend myself, I am attacked. Already it's flipping the script of the world in that one sentence. Mm-hmm. It says, who would defend himself unless he thought he were attacked, that the attack was real and that his own defense could save himself? And herein lies the folly of defense. It gives illusions full reality and then attempts to handle them as real. It adds illusions to illusions, thus making correction doubly difficult. And it is this you do when you attempt to plan the future, to activate the past, or organize the present as you wish. You operate from the belief you must protect yourself from what is happening because it must contain what threatens you. A sense of threat is an acknowledgement of an inherent weakness, a belief that there is danger which has power to call on you to make appropriate defense. The world is based on this insane belief, and all its structures, all its thoughts and doubts, its penalties and heavy armaments, its legal definitions and its codes, its ethics and its leaders and its gods, all serve but to preserve its sense of threat. For no one walks the world in armature, but must have terror striking at his heart. Man, blowing the world up.
Wow.
Defense is frightening. It stems from fear, increasing fear as each defense is made. You think it offers safety, yet it speaks of fear made real and terror justified. Is it not strange you do not pause to ask, as you elaborate your plans and make your armor thicker and your locks more tight, what you defend and how and against what? I'll pass to you.
Wow. Man, a lot of good stuff in here. There was one line I wanted to pull out, but essentially we see here how ACIM is saying that defensiveness is the world's thought system. It's what everything runs off of. It's what our legal system runs off of. Yeah. It's what society and culture runs off of. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. And this just idea that what you are is something fragile and limited. And so if anyone steals from you or attacks you, it's like seen as this eternal loss in the ego's mind, right, Mark?
Yeah.
So the Course says it's actually this thought system that's attacking you, not the other person. It's in the way you're choosing to perceive yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to grab a sentence out of the first paragraph real quickly. It says, I'm talking about defensiveness. It gives illusions full reality and then attempts to handle them as real. It adds illusions to illusions. That's confusing to read for the first time. But what that's pointing to, let me just break that down in a practical way. I've got this illusion, this belief that I'm not smart. And so I feel defensive. I feel afraid that people are going to discover this. So I've got this. It's not true. I mean, every one of us in God and in your divinity is smart, is capable, is absolutely full of all that you need to live a fabulous life. That's true for all of us. But I've got this illusion that I'm not smart. I did something, that as a kid, this is what I was told. So this is my illusion about myself. I defend that illusion. Everything that happens to me in the world that triggers it makes it come alive. And then I'm reacting from it. So I've got this illusion that someone's calling me stupid. They're not. It's just triggering that belief. But now I'm activated by it and I'm reacting from that false idea. Do you see how I have just smeared the entire connection Someone may be
Mhm.
asking me a simple question that is logical, but it triggered me. The illusion of I'm not smart is activated. I'm reacting from that. I plap that onto them, and the whole situation becomes something not real. So
Yeah.
I think that's important to break that down a little bit.
That is, man. And you use the word illusion, which might be a new word for some people. You were saying like, I have this illusion in my mind that they attacked me. And if you're not sure what we mean by that, you could definitely swap that word illusion for the word story, right?
You're
So I have
right.
this story in my mind that they did this, they did that, they should have, they shouldn't have. That's the illusion. When the course says the word illusion, it's referring to these mental stories we tell ourselves. And to your point, Mark, why would it not be true if someone says, "You idiot," and I get offended, and Mark comes along and say, "Oh, they didn't just call you an idiot." You're like, "Oh, Mark, you're just gaslighting me. I just listened to them call me an idiot. Are you lying to my face?" And here's what we mean. We're always looking to the deeper non-dual truth of the situation, right?
Yeah.
If that person who called you an idiot was an enlightened sage full of the unconditional love of God, would they have called you an idiot? Well, no, of course not. Why? Because they're aware of our oneness and the love of God. So they don't see me as stupid. Right, exactly. So what did that other person see who called you an idiot? They saw their own projection of who you are. They're
Mm-hmm.
calling their own projections an idiot, right? When you are in the love of God, the truth of God, you can't see anything but love and perfection wherever you look. This is the vision of Christ, which the Course tells us about over and over again. The vision of Christ can be yours if you forgive your brother and stop judging. When you judge, you block yourself out of the kingdom. So that person, there's a place in themselves that they beat themselves up as an idiot, and I'm stupid when I make mistakes. And so they're just doing to you what they do to themselves mentally. So it has nothing to do with you. It's not actually personal. This is what the Course pulls out. It's not, no attack is actually personal. It's always a projected self-attack onto another person. And so when we're in the vision of Christ, we see that, we understand that, and we forgive, and we don't become defensive, because our defensiveness puts us back into the ego position, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so did you do 3 paragraphs?
I did.
I
Yes.
think we're here, yeah?
Yep.
Let us know in the chat if we're not. Let us consider first what you defend. It must be something that is very weak and easily assaulted. See that? Just what we were saying, right? It must be something made easy prey, unable to protect itself and needing your defense. What but the body has such frailty that constant care and watchful, deep concern are needful to protect its little life? What but the body falters and must fail to serve the Son of God as worthy host? So it's saying you have to believe you're just a body and nothing more to be defensive and angry and hostile towards others, right? For their attacks.
Yeah.
Yet it is not the body that can fear, nor be a thing of fear. It has no needs but those which you assign to it. It needs no complicated structures of defense, no health-inducing medicine, no care and no concern at all. Defend its life, or give it gifts to make it beautiful, or walls to make it safe. And you but say your home is open to the thief of time, corruptible and crumbling, so unsafe it must be guarded with your very life. So you're bound in time, you're a frail, fragile body, locked in time space. This is how the ego wants you to see yourself in order to be defensive. Is not this picture fearful? Can you be at peace with such a concept of your home? Yet what endowed the body with the right to serve you thus, except your own belief? It is your mind which gave the body all the functions that you see in it, and set its value far beyond a little pile of dust and water. Who would make defense of something that he recognized as this? Interesting stuff. Go ahead, Mark.
The body is in need of no defense. This cannot be too often emphasized. And by the way, it is emphasized a lot in the Course because it's one of the key places we get trapped.
Yeah.
I am body. That is our belief. It will be strong and healthy if the mind does not abuse it by assigning it to roles it cannot fill, to purposes beyond its scope, and to exalted aims which it cannot accomplish. Such attempts, ridiculous yet deeply cherished, are the sources for the many mad attacks you made upon it. For it seems to fail your hopes, your needs, your values, and your dreams. The self that needs protection is not real. The body valueless, and hardly worth the least defense, need merely be perceived as quite apart from you. And it becomes a healthy, serviceable instrument through which the mind can operate until its usefulness is over. Who would want to keep it when its usefulness is done? One more. Defend the body and you have attacked your mind. For you have seen in it the faults, the weaknesses, the limits, and the lacks for which you think the body must be saved. You will not see the mind as separate from bodily conditions, and you will impose upon the body all the pain that comes from the concept of the mind as limited and fragile and apart from other minds and separate from its source. So I'll take just a quick pause here because this is such a key component of A Course in Miracles. The reality is we think we're our bodies. The world conditions us from your first breath when you're born. I am a body. I am a body. And it doesn't take much to look around the world and see how people are preserving the body, trying to make the body prettier, trying to make it thinner, trying to make it acceptable. We are body obsessed to a level that we actually can't even comprehend. We can't comprehend from waking to dawn and even sleep, or to dusk and even sleeping, how much we think of ourselves as a body, protect, fix our body up, obsess about it. It's sick, it's this, it's that. The Course does a fantastic job of, sometimes slowly, and that's important, of separating us so that we can look at it as an instrument. And here's the key that it says that we just read. When you're done identifying yourself and collapsing your identity with the body, then the body becomes an instrument. That's when it can be used by love. That's when the body becomes this amazing vessel for love to connect, to cause, to heal, to bless other people. Your body is something beautiful that can be used in phenomenal ways in your life. Yeah. But we have to first disidentify the ego's belief that this is what you are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great point. We don't have any kind of dismissal of the body. We're not haters of the human body or something like that. It's just about how we relate to the body makes all the difference in our spiritual clarity. And so the Course says, I am not a body, I am free. I am as God created me. So what this means to us is, like, it's true to say, on one hand, we can say, Mark, you're not the body. And you're like, that's true. I'm the eternal spirit dwelling in it. But in another sense, I can say, but you are the body, but the body's just not the sum total of what you are. It's kind of what we're saying. Like, the body's included in you, just like everything else is. Yeah. It's not like it's something completely separate from you. Like, it's an extension of you. It's part of you. What the Course wants us to see is it's not the sum total of who you are, and it's very temporary. So don't get attached to it and don't identify with it. But while you're here in this human life, the body is your communication device with God, with the Holy Spirit, it says. And when you exalt the body to its true perspective, which is that, it becomes this beautiful communication medium between Father and Son and Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on 10, yeah?
Yeah.
Going in threes is keeping us on track. These are the thoughts in need of healing, and the body will respond with health when they have been corrected and replaced with truth. This is the body's only real defense. Yet is this where you look for its defense? You offer it protection of a kind from which it gains no benefit at all, but merely adds to your distress of mind. You do not heal, but merely take away the hope of healing, for you fail to see where hope must lie if it be meaningful. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday, this idea that unforgiveness is like me drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's totally foolish. I'm the one who's harming myself, right? Well, any negative thought we hold in mind is, the Course calls it a self-attack, because essentially we're just holding a hateful thought in our mind. So it's kind of like holding onto a hot potato or something. It's like burning and scalding your hand while you're holding it. And yet you're like, I can't wait to give this to someone and scald their hand with it, Well, it's already scalding your hand, so you're already the loser in this situation. So better to not hold on to the hot potato, which is the judgmental thought. A healed mind does not plan. It carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. It waits until it has been taught what should be done, and then proceeds to do it. So the Christ in you is waiting patiently. It's listening for the Holy Spirit. It's not jumping into reactivity, right? It does not depend upon itself for anything except its adequacy to fulfill the plans assigned to it. So it knows who it is, right? No confusion about its true identity. It is secure in certainty that obstacles cannot impede its progress to accomplishment of any goal that serves the greater plan established for the good of everyone. A healed mind is relieved of the belief that it must plan, although it cannot know the outcome which is best, the means by which it is achieved, nor how to recognize the problem that the plan is made to solve. It must misuse the body in its plans until it recognizes this is so. But when it has accepted this as true, then it is healed and lets the body go. So it's saying that your body identification is, the ego's most prized, cherished possession. Right. And so all the ego's chief strategies in the mind are to get you to identify with the body, the person. This is why guilt is such a linchpin for the ego's thought system, because when you feel guilty for something, you're saying, yes, I really am this body that really did this thing. It's true, and I'm shameful and I'm horrible. So you're holding on to an identity rather than being able to see the true perspective from the Christ's vision and say, I accidentally slipped back into ego identification there, and the ego judged, the ego attacked, etc. But it is not I that judged or attacked. I am the Christ. I am the eternal Son of God. I can only give love. And so you can see the ego's activity in your mind as something other than you, which might sound weird, but it's kind of like St. Paul said in one of his writings, right? The thing which I don't want to do, I do. That which I want to do, I don't do. And he talks about this war within himself. It's a perfect description of the ego. You can start becoming aware of this war within you and identify less and less with the one who's starting the war, and identify more and more with the one that's ending the war in you, which is the Christ.
Beautiful.
All right, go for it, Mark.
Enslavement of the body to the plans the unhealed mind sets up to save itself must make the body sick. Very interesting. This is what makes the body sick, is our fear. Our fear and our defending causes the body to get sick. It is not free to be the means of helping in a plan which far exceeds its own protection and which needs its service for a little while. In this capacity is health assured, for everything the mind employs for this will function flawlessly and with the strength that has been given it and cannot fail. It is perhaps not easy to perceive that self-initiated plans are but defenses, with the purpose all of them were made to realize. They are the means by which a frightened mind would undertake its own protection at the cost of truth. This is not difficult to realize in some forms which these self-deceptions take, where the denial of reality is very obvious, yet planning is not often recognized as a defense. It's very powerful. I want to step there just for a moment because I saw in the thread someone saying, but wait a minute. You mean if I'm walking down the street and someone comes to attack me, I'm not supposed to fight back? Now, Thank you for that question, because that's a common question that rises up. But let's break this down more fully. What this is inviting us to do is we don't walk down the street planning to be attacked, prepared, afraid of it, packing our pockets with defense weapons just in case we need them. We don't walk through our life in that energy. This is inviting us, don't plan for attack, plan for love. Be in the flow of the Holy Spirit, of the Christ light that you are. Here's the key point, should someone come up to you in attack, you will be guided by the love that you are on what to do. And miracles will occur right there. That person will put the weapon down. You will look in their eyes with love. And in that moment, you have become the healer that love has called you to be. You will see that you drew this appearance of attack to you so that love could prevail. This is what we all must discover inside of ourselves, because every one of us, love always prevails. Love always heals the attack. It always takes care of it. But if we don't trust it, if we still take it on ourselves and I've got a plan for something bad to happen, then you're already, what this lesson is saying, you're recreating the past. You've already pushed out the opportunity for a new loving healing to take place. That's what offers us. So if someone approaches you to attack you, you may fight back. You may, who knows what you'll do in the name of love. Love is not going to say, lay down and get beaten up and suffer. That's not what love is going to do.
Never.
However, I do remember Jesus, who did walk through an attack of the body and laughed all the way through because he knew he was not the body. So we all have to face that in our little ways that we're addressing them on our day-to-day. We're not that at that level of evolution. We're being invited to practice this where we are.
Yeah. Yeah. The body is such a huge catalyst. And that's really well said, Mark. The Course uses different terms for the same thing sometimes to give us different perspectives of that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And this word planning here just means fear, right? Fear is planning. When you're in fear, you're already planning on something happening. You might even be planning what I'm going to do if that happens. So you're literally scheduling a future moment of disaster for yourself. You know, it's planning is what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's helpful to see it that way. Just like it's helpful to see judgment as attack. The Course uses the word attack much more often than judge, because from the Course's perspective, that's what you're doing when you're judging. Now, most of us would say, oh, Aaron, I'm not attacking them. I would never attack them.
Right.
I'm just thinking some horrible, dirty thoughts about them. I'm not harming them. And so the Course says, no, you actually are. It's in the psychic realm. You're walking over to them, grabbing them by the scruff of the shirt and punching them in the face.
Yeah.
You know, that's how the Course sees mental judgments. It's just the same in the universe's perspective. And so if we were all to, like, none of us would go around the street right now, grabbing people by the collar and punching them. We would be insane, right? We would be humiliated with ourselves. We'd be ashamed of ourselves.
Yeah.
But if we came to see judgmental thoughts the same way, it's like the same thing on the psychic plane as going around beating people up. We would all feel the same way about judging, and we would be unable to judge because it's this kind of reprehensible thing. Well, that's why it's helpful to see these terms this way. When you judge, you are attacking the other person in your mind. And when you are defensive, you are attacking yourself in your mind. You're saying, I'm this puny, weak little body, this finite self that easily words can tear me apart and trigger me, throw me off my center. That person made me a victim. Look at all these ways you are denigrating your Christ nature when you are defensive. The Course says, stop doing that, and you can be free right now.
That's so important, Aaron, because, and what we're pointing to are patterns upon patterns that you are born into, the consciousness of your family, your culture, your community.
Right.
You're walking down the street and someone of a different ethnicity walks the other way that isn't familiar to your neighborhood. There is an instant reaction, not necessarily of your own making, but of the culture and the pool that you're swimming in, that says, oh, this is that and this is that. It's happening on so many levels of your being. The Course helps us to begin to see that, oh, why am I making up a story that that person might be a threat versus that person might be the Christ light walking down the street? Now I've got a choice. The Holy Spirit gives me a choice. And then it says, okay, Holy Spirit, I want to follow your lead. Help me see that person as God created them. Help me see that person not as something that is wrong or dangerous, but as something that love names its own. This is what begins to happen inside of you. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
It is, man. We could rant about this forever. The freedom that this text, these teachings give to us is just so profound. We want everybody to experience it, but it just begins by grasping these little lessons, these little seeds at a time. I'm thinking of the analogy we've given in LTC. Like, the ego doesn't want to be around anyone that's not in approval of it, that doesn't like it, that's not similar to it, right? Any differences, like you said, make the ego's defenses come up. So the ego is a lot like, you know, the guy at the saloon in the old Western movies, where like some new person walks in and they're like, we don't take kindly to your types around here. That's what the ego's doing. That's what the ego does to everybody that's not in approval of it, that doesn't like it, accept it. If there's any discrepancy at all, the ego's like, I hate you. You know?
Yep.
And the Christ is the part of you that does the opposite. No matter how different it looks on the outer appearance, it looks right past the form and says, we take kindly to your types around here. You know, it's like the opposite of the grumpy guy at the saloon.
Yeah. And by the way, at LTC, you get to see Aaron take on all kinds of fun roles and personalities. The way he did that little actor in you comes out, and it's just so delightful.
You got to bring it to life, man.
Yeah.
How much more we got here?
It's a long baby. I don't know if we'll get through it all. I mean, there's so much to,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is a smoker of a lesson.
Yeah, we
All
picked
right,
a long.
well, let's go from here to 20, and then we'll go down to the
Perfect.
lesson of the day at the end there. It is perhaps not easy to perceive that self-initiated plans are but defenses. With the purpose, all of them were made to realize. They are the means by which a frightened mind would undertake its own protection at the cost of truth. This is not difficult to realize in some forms which these self-deceptions take, where the denial of reality is very obvious. Yet planning is not often recognized as a defense. So why do you defend? Because you're in fear. See, so the planning and the fear go hand in hand. The mind engaged in planning for itself is occupied in setting up control of future happenings. So this is, the course is really talking about when you're going to see that person, you're going to be around that in-law that you don't like or whatever.
Mhm.
And you start to go into future planning, storyboarding in your mind. What am I going to do if they, I'll walk right up to them and I'll tell them this and that. This is how the ego tries to take control of life. I'm going to do what I want to happen and make the moments happen that I want to happen. And so it's not really open to what life is doing anymore. It just wants its own plans to be actualized. So your ego's getting in the way of God's will in that sense, right? Yeah. It does not think that it will be provided for unless it makes its own provisions. So no trust in God. Time becomes a future emphasis to be controlled by learning and experience obtained from past events and previous beliefs. So the future becomes the past on repeat, as Mark said. It overlooks the present, for it rests on the idea the past has taught enough to let the mind direct its future course. So it already thinks it knows, is what this means. I already know what's going to happen because I have all these past stories, all these defense mechanisms. The ego is always rehearsing the past. The mind that plans is thus refusing to allow for change. That's an interesting line. What it has learned before becomes the basis for its future goals. Its past experience directs its choice of what will happen, and it does not see that here and now is everything it needs to guarantee a future quite unlike the past, without a continuity of any old ideas and sick beliefs. Anticipation plays no part at all, for present confidence directs the way. Defenses are the plans you undertake to make against the truth. Their aim is to select what you approve and disregard what you consider incompatible with your beliefs of your reality. Yet what remains is meaningless indeed, for it is your reality that is the threat which your defenses would attack, obscure, and take apart and crucify. So your defenses are the real threat, is what it's saying there, not the other person, not the situation. Want to read this, Mark? So here's the practice for today.
Yeah, for 15 minutes twice today, we rest from senseless planning and from every thought that blocks the truth for entering our minds. Today, we will receive instead of plan, that we may give instead of organize. And we are given truly, as we say, if I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong, and I will learn what my defenses hide.
That's a big point, huh? What my defenses are hiding.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, this isn't talking about making a grocery list. This isn't talking about you're going to go shopping, you're going to get yourself organized before you go. This is, and Aaron was pointing to this clearly. This is about planning how the world's going to respond to you, how your sister's going to be when you do this and that. It's about structuring your environment and your world from fear. And there's lots of ways it does that. This is what this lesson is inviting you to just breathe down and see if you can surrender it for the day, so that what is possible, a new experience, a new seeing God's world, seeing how love is present, seeing how people are naturally, inherently the Christ. This is what becomes available to you. And this is what it's pointing to. So don't start nitpicking it with like, well, does that mean I don't make a grocery shopping list? Make your list. That's not what we're talking about.
Those are the ego's straw mans I was talking about on day one. The way it'll straw man these teachings, right? Oh, that's ridiculous. You're telling me I can never think about the future. No. We said, don't defend yourself against the ideas of the future. You know, there's distinctions here we have to pull out a little bit.
Right.
But the one that's big for me on this, Mark, too, is that if you're planning, you can't be guided.
Yeah.
In defenselessness, I will be strong and I will learn what my defenses hide. Nothing but that. If there are plans to make, you will be told of them. So we want to be guided by God, by the Holy Spirit. We want to live, what is the word it used here that I loved? Receive instead of plan. Wouldn't that be better to everyone listening? Wouldn't it be better for you if you woke up every day not knowing at all, what the day is going to look like? Maybe you have some plans on the calendar, but like you don't really know what's going to happen yet. And you don't need to know because you're resting in this deep, abiding inner peace that my Heavenly Father has only good things in store for me today. And so you're just waiting, you're listening, you're being guided, you're being led and shown what to do, shown where to go, shown what to say. This is how Jesus got to the state of consciousness where he was able to say, I can only do what I see my Father doing. I can only say what I hear my Father saying. Don't you think after, years, maybe a decade or more of Yeshua living so sensitively to the voice of God within himself and really trying with all his might not to act from his ego, from fear, from defensiveness, that practicing that every day, don't you think that would eventually get you to the point where you're like, look, I'm so convinced that God's will is better than mine, me, the ego, that I literally can't even act of my ego anymore. It's reprehensible to me. I don't trust it. I only trust the will of God. And so I wait to be instructed. I receive, I listen. Like this is the state of the sage, right? This is self-mastery. And this is a stage the course is showing us how to get to in this lesson.
Yeah. To really break this down, Stan, that was beautiful. To really simply summarize what this is saying is we keep reliving the past. We have all these stories, that's a great word, that show up the moment we open our eyes, and they're fear-based. And this is what the planning, this is what the defending comes from. And so what this is saying is inside you is that Christ blueprint of perfection, the spiritual nature of your being. That's what knows what to do. That's what knows what to say. That knows how to respond from love as love in every single situation that's going to happen in your day. Guaranteed. You are lacking nothing when you let your defenses down, you let the Christ light lead you, and you're guided. This is true for there's not one person on the planet that is not encoded with this beautiful perfection, the spiritual truth of being. This is what the course is inviting us to begin learning how to live from. And it's step by step, because you'll begin to realize once you see how these fearful patterns have got you, some of them can look like big old monsters. And you're just going to catch your breath. You go, I don't know what to say. Like that's the most powerful moment, when you can, in that moment of wanting to attack, wanting to react the way you have in the past, instead breathing and saying, in my defenselessness, my safety lies. In my defenselessness, the Christ light is activated and a new loving opportunity becomes available. That's really, I think, the heart of this thing.
It sure is, man. And we laugh about this in LTC all the time, how when we're talking about defensiveness, that if you're watching a James Bond movie or something, we're all inspired by a main character who doesn't get defensive, right, in these moments, but stands on their courage and their empowerment. Imagine James Bond, he's been kidnapped by the bad guy. He's tied to the steel chair in the dark room and he's getting punched in the face. Imagine how we would all just walk out of the movie in seconds if he was like, stop it, I didn't mean, I'm so sorry. And he's just cowering, under the fear. Leave me alone, you're so mean. We'd be like, oh, James Bond became a total wuss. And we just walk out of the movie. I'm not watching the rest of this thing. We only keep watching it because he's like, do your worst. You'll never get the truth out of me, and he stands strong in the face of that attack. And we're like, wow, that's so inspiring, That's our true nature, is to rise up when we are attacked. We don't need to defend ourselves because we know who we are. We trust who we are. This is the freedom the course is providing us here. And I'm going to read this last paragraph with this little prayer here again. Yeah. And then you can guide us through a little experience of this, Mark.
Sure.
So it says, try not to shape this day as you believe would benefit you most. So try not to plan your day too much, for you cannot conceive of all the happiness that comes to you without your planning. Learn today And all the world will take this giant stride and celebrate your Easter time with you. Throughout the day, as foolish little things appear to raise defensiveness in you and tempt you to engage in weaving plans, remind yourself of this special day for learning and acknowledge it with this. This is my Easter time, or resurrection, in other words, and I would keep it holy. I will not defend myself, because the Son of God needs no defense against the truth of his reality. So there's something beautiful about defenselessness too, Mark, that says, I trust God, I know God. If somebody accuses me falsely, like maybe I would still tell the truth and all that, of course, but like I don't need to get all worked up, emotional, and defensive if I'm falsely accused, because I know I'm standing on the truth. And so I know God's got my back. That is the confidence of the Christ in you, is that it knows truth fights all my battles. So what do I need to be defensive about?
Right. So let's throughout LTC, we have lots of guided experiences. We bring our lessons and our teachings into an inner transformation. So let's have a taste. Let's have a taste of that. I invite you, if it's comfortable and possible, for you to close your eyes, take a deep breath. And there's been a lot of information streaming at you. So just breathe for a moment and imagine that it's settling in and it's finding its perfect place. You don't need to remember all of it. Breathe into this now moment. I am here now in this holy instant. Breathe into this. No past, no future. And I want to lead you through a simple process that will help you become free and prepare you to let defenselessness and the Christ light lead you. So enjoy this visualization with me. Imagine above your head, 6 inches, is a golden egg, and it's just kind of spinning above your head. Bring your attention to that. And in a moment, I'm going to invite you to crack open, and golden light is going to pour out of it. It's going to purify your mind, your body, your emotions, and your being of all the defenses, known and unknown, that you walk in, like wax melting down the candlestick. So imagine that this egg cracks open and golden light pours over your head. And imagine that it pours into your brain and into your face. And the brain kind of represents the mind for us in this moment. This golden light purifies the mind, the brain, releasing you from all the patterns, all the fears, all the ways you have defended in the past. They melt away. This golden light pours down into your throat, purifying that throat chakra and releasing you from all the defensive words you've spoken, the lies, the pretending, the ways that you have made yourself believe you're a body. Imagine that this golden light purifies this fantastic portal for the word of love. This light pours down into your arms and all the way down into your hands, purifying them and releasing the hands from all the ways they've held on, opening them up, all the ways they've defended, held a fist, become defiant. It's releasing and purifying, melting away. This golden light pours into the chest, the lungs, and the heart chakra, releasing the defending, the walls that you have built around your heart that you think are protecting you. The brokenness of your past, any past experience around loving, it is melting away as this light pours down through the torso into the hips, releasing you of all the defending, pouring down the legs, all the way to the feet and out into the earth that gladly pulls it down and uses it and transforms it for you. Just for a moment, imagine this streaming light from above you, all the way through you and out of your feet, releasing defending, releasing the fear of the past that has you trapped. Let it all melt away. If I defend myself, I am attacked. Breathe these words in and let all the defending melt, disappear. Take a breath. We imagine that egg disappears. The flow of purification streams all the way out the feet. Bring your attention back to the center of the body. We're using the body for this purpose. And imagine that the golden Christ light now opens up within you. And it fills the body, it fills the emotions, it fills the mind, it fills your energetic field, so that you are pure, present moment, loving Christ light. This is what I am. This needs no defense. This knows what to say. This knows what to do. This knows where to lead me. I surrender to this love, to this light. I surrender to the divinity of God that I am encoded to be. I let this lead. I let this go before me. Imagine that this beautiful light literally goes before you, 6 feet ahead of you, everywhere you go, and it draws unto you the right opportunities for new life, new generosity, new ways of seeing and responding, defenseless. Love needs no defense, and I am love. Breathe this in. Say yes to this. Say yes to this light filling you and leading you and guiding you in all of your activities today. Say yes to it, giving you the words so that every conversation you have today is made new by you and by the love that you are. Say yes, that this love helps you to see what is really here with your defenses dissolved. It's God's world, right here, right now. It is you. Another deep breath. A gentle smile come to your face and open your eyes when you're ready.
Wonderful meditation, man. Really, really good. Let us know in the chat, guys, how that experience was for you. And also feel free to drop any questions for us as we close here for the last few minutes. Happy to take some questions on today's lesson. Let us know how your experience of the lesson was just now. And while we're waiting for that, I'll offer one little piece of practical advice. So we like to give the on-the-ground stuff, right, Mark? How to live this stuff, living the course. So how do we live this today? I would say for today, if this is like a new concept for you of, okay, defensiveness, need to watch out for that. Then all I would say is just open your awareness to that pattern today. Look for the pattern of defensiveness. In what ways is my ego being defensive today? That could look like many different things. It could look like over-explaining yourself to people, or get really upset when someone seems to accuse you or ask you a question. We notice this hostility come out anytime the ego feels threatened. So just watch for that pattern. And then remember the crux of today's lesson: in my defenselessness, my safety lies. If I defend myself, I am attacked. Just recall, bring to mind the truth of the lesson today, that the Christ in me is perfect, eternal, one with God. It has no reason to be defensive. And so that's what I am, so neither do I. That's kind of the attitude to carry with you. It's those little small things we do, right, Mark, that carry into the big fruits over time. Yeah. What I would add to that too, in the invitation to please join us in 2026 for Living the Course, is we all see this world. We all see how insane it is. We all can get trapped into it in different ways. When people say, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? This is the time more than ever before. What do you want to do? Do A Course in Miracles. Do something that purifies your mind of the division of fear and love. Do something that allows forgiveness to prevail and transform you, and then watch what love will do through you to bless the world, to change the world, to create what God's world is. That, to me, is the most powerful step. And a lot of people, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I want to go do something. They want their defensiveness
to go out into the world and fight. And all that does is repeat and recycle. All we're doing is adding to the same game over and over and over. So if you're freaking out about the world, if you're worried about the world, what do? I'm not kidding. Do A Course in Miracles. Join Living the Course. 1 year. Give 1 year of your life to this, and you will see for yourself how powerful that is. I cannot stress this enough, Aaron.
Yeah, it's kind of the only thing we can say at times. It's like, you just got to do it and you'll see, you know. You got to trust us a little bit here, but you also don't, because we have hundreds of testimonials we could read off from our students. But this person's saying, do you have a daily course for ACIM? So yeah, if you're joining us for the first time on this day 3, we are basically giving you a taste of our program in these 5 days of going through. We go through this entire book, which I think is bigger than the Bible, Mark. I'm pretty sure, like more words and pages than.
It can look overwhelming in the beginning, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of copy, but the lessons, there's 365 daily lessons. So we do those every single day. Yes, you heard me. 365 days in a row in the morning, 20-minute lessons somewhere in that time frame. We give you the teaching, the guided experience, and we send you off. But then we have the other sections of the text. Well, there's the text itself, which is about 600 pages. And then there's the teacher's manual for when you're really starting to embody ACIM and you want to start being more of an example of these things in your world and how to share these ideas through your state of being. The manual for teachers really goes deep into that. And so I think Monday nights, we also have a study the text lesson for an hour and a half. Tuesday nights, I think, is the workbook. We have live community calls, live watch parties for all the videos. So, I mean, there's a lot happening in LTC. Of course, you can learn more about it at the link down below. But we just really, the whole idea for LTC, you guys, is to just drown you in ACIM for a year, where it kind of becomes your only reference frame, right? You're just like, I think, sleep, eat, breathe ACIM. And I'm telling you, man, it's the best possible medicine for you. If you want to heal your mind, if you want to stop seeing sin, evil, and separation in your awareness, this is the book that, my personal opinion, will accomplish that for you faster than anything, because it just understands how to get to the root of the problem with the ego's perceptions and where the mistakes are being made. It's happening up here and how we're choosing to see. So this book, literally over a year of studying this book, it just takes the ego's projections from you and hands you Christ's vision in its place. And it's one that you want to keep doing year after year. We have students that have been with us all 5 years. But at the very least, like, you will not recognize yourself this time next year if you devote a whole year to studying this text. And you don't have to do that with us. You can do it on your own, of course. But as we said, most people just find it nearly impossible to truly commit to a course that's this deep and dense and takes this much kind of unpacking with the language and all that. So that's why we created LTC, is to really hold you by the hand and walk you through these principles in the simplest, most digestible ways, again, with lots of simple analogies and practical application. We give it to you all in LTC. So if you're interested in learning more, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can even try LTC for the first 4 weeks and see if it feels aligned for you in your spiritual path.
Yeah. Somehow, talk about surrendering to the flow of the Holy Spirit's guidance. Aaron and I spent 4 years recording that book. So although it looks overwhelming, how am I going to do all of that? We went through all of it. And so that's what you get. You get us guiding you and helping you on how to consume it. And I want to add, it's not about perfection. Don't let the ego overwhelm you and go, oh, how am I going to do all that? There's not enough time. Not about doing it perfectly. It's about showing up and letting the course will lead you. It will give you what is here for you. And you'll probably discover, like many of us, oh, I'm going to do it the next year. Oh, I'm going to study it the next year. It does happen for many of us over time, but it begins to meet you where you are. And I promise you, no matter how busy you are in 2026, or no matter what you think might derail you from it, this program will absolutely meet you, and it will work perfectly in you. It really will.
Well said.
Yeah.
I just posted the link for you guys. Some people are saying it's not in the description, but it definitely should be. I'll put it there as soon as the live is over either way. But there you go in the chat. If you want to learn more about LTC, And we got 2 more days of a taste of LTC coming at you tomorrow and Wednesday, which is New Year's Eve. So enjoy this lesson for today, guys. Go be defenseless in your world today. And we'll see you all back here tomorrow morning for day 4 of A Taste of LTC.
Peace and love.
Much love, you guys.